Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain.
Go ahead and
right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another great episode of Coach Me Coach Podcast. It is Wednesday. We have consolidated all three of our shows, UCF, Miami Hurricanes, and Colorado, into one show, but we'll split it up later, so you don't have to go through the whole 3-hour segment. Real quick, we're going to start this deal off. Let me make sure everything looks good, sounds good before we go ahead and get started. Shout out to Normal Guy in the building. Clap it up for my dog right there. It's his birthday! Normal Guy in the building. It's his birthday. Happy 21st birthday, brother. I don't know how old you really are. But hey, man, happy birthday to you, man. Shout out to you, Normal Guy. Shard in the building. What's going on? 863 Kane throwing up them U logos. IMAX right here. Let's go ahead and jump into this deal, man, as we go in and get this thing chopping. And I know, right now, we about 19 minutes before Club Shay nightcap or whatever it is go on. So y'all ride with your boy for a little bit. But anyway, well, let's talk a little UCF right quick. Let's get this done first here. I started following UCF, like I said before, for those that are new, that don't necessarily maybe understand why. I think that UCF is a team that's on the upswing. I know that first of all, they're right here in my backyard. I'm here in Orlando. They're right here in my backyard. And they're in a Power 4 conference now in the Big 12, went 6-6 last year. And guess what? They're putting in some work in right now, man. Gus Malzahn, Tim Harris, as well as Ted Roof, the coordinators, are putting in some work, and they're getting some good players. They may not be the big-name players that people know about, but I think here locally, we know a lot of these players. If you follow recruiting, you may not even know that they're on this team. But if you start watching them, you'll start hearing these names. You'll start saying, well, dang, who is R.J. Harvey? Maybe the biggest name they have right now is K.J. Jefferson, right, overall, right? Quarterback Arkansas, transferred to UCF. But who is Penny Boone? Who is R.J. Harvey? Who is Antoine Jackson? Who is Lee Hunter, the D lineman? Who is Kobe Hudson? Who is Townsend? These are players that have played at big schools. They were at Auburn, right? Of course, you heard these other guys. So I really think UCF is in the transfer portal heavy, but they're getting a lot of guys that came back. Who is John Walker? Huh? Who is Derek LeBlanc? These are highly recruited players. But because they went to UCF, especially when they were a quote-unquote G5 program, when they were in the AAC, a lot of people are not aware or didn't follow. And I understand that. But that's why I'm here. And y'all stay with me. Trust me. We on to something big here at Coach Hayes Football. On to something big here. Also, let me know in the chat if there are any names I forgot that you're like, hey, they got a dude over there named this. They got a dude over here by this name. All right. And they got another running back named Montgomery. He ain't playing no games. The tight end Pittman, he a gangster. I'm telling you, they got some players over there. And I think they should be a force to be reckoned with. Got to get the passing game going. And KJ Jefferson, his debut game against New Hampshire wasn't that great. Have to be very honest. Didn't play well, in my opinion, playing a team of that caliber. I think they beat them people almost to sleep. Let me see what the score was to that. They beat them people 57-3, and KJ Jefferson was only 7 for 14 for 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. So without him playing that well, but their running game was ridiculous against New Hampshire. 454 yards rushing to 185 passing, 27 first downs. New Hampshire only had 9, but we're not talking about them. We're going to go back and recap. We're recapping Sam Houston State, where they beat them to sleep also, 45-14. All right. But KJ Jefferson played a lot better so far as accurately with the ball. He was 12 of 15 for 169. Okay. And it goes to show you when UCF is playing, they are a run-first team. Don't get that mistaken. They are a run-first program. But they use the run to set up the pass. And when they pass, it's big plays. Think about it. 12 for 15 for 169. His quarterbacks that throw 22 or complete 22 to 25 passes, they get 169. So when they make plays on the passing game, they make big plays in the passing game. And that's big right there. You understand what I'm saying? That's big. But the key to this offense is a young man named R.J. Harvey right out of Edgewater High School here in Orlando, Florida. This dude put up, he had 19 carries for 126 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he's slick with it. They put him at Wildcat. I mean, they run the ball. He's patient, not a big guy, but he's fast. He's got a burst, and he's got patience. Also, Penny Boone had 10 carries. Shout out to Penny Boone. That's on my fantasy. 863 Kane. You keep waiting on it. Huh? Gonna put you to sleep. I don't even know if I got him starting this week, but we'll see. But he had 10 carries for 54 yards in the tub. Miles Montgomery had 9 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. All right. And then in the receiving room, this is where I tell you where they get big yardage. Kobe Hudson had 5 catches for 104 yards and 20 yards of catch. Didn't have a touchdown. Randy Pittman, who's the tight end, had 2 catches for 32 yards. And Townsend had 3 for 17. But Kobe Hudson, I want to say he had almost 900 last year. Almost 900 yards last year. And the previous receiver had 1,100. He's playing for New England right now, if I'm not mistaken. His name escapes me. But with all that being said, they have talent, and they have a system, and they have a program, and they have what they need. Now, do they have the best of talent? I can't say that just yet for UCF. But they have some players in there, and I think they're going to be sneaky good. They're going to be sneaky good with the talent in which they have. All right? You guys can start loading up the queue if you want to talk a little bit UCF. We're going to get to Miami. We're going to get to the other ones, but let's talk UCF first. I would love to hear your opinions about them because they have TCU coming up this week. And speaking of TCU came out right now. They're 2-0. And, of course, they beat Long Island University 45-0, put them to sleep. But then they come out and beat a Stanford team 34-27. And, TCU didn't fare as well last year as looks like they're doing this year. But from a player's perspective, their quarterback was 28 for 42 for 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interception. 353 yards, Josh Hoover. All right. And again, their rushing game, my man had 20 carries for 81 yards. We're talking about Stanford. This is a Power 4 program. All right. So he had 20 carries as well. So they show it kind of evenly. Jack Beck, who somebody stole from my fantasy because he was at LSU at one time. He's a tight end / receiver. He had 6 catches for 139 yards and 1 touchdown. So they're getting the ball around the yard. And Savion Williams, it was 11 catches for 85 yards. So I think it's interesting as I look at UCF and as they go through this deal. And like I said, when they're going to play TCU this week. After that, they're going to go ahead and then they're going to play Colorado the following week. All right. And speaking of that, if you're interested, Coach Hayes has got a deal with the hottest spot in Orlando. Club Ember, downtown Orlando is the spot to be. Y'all check this out, man. Huh? Talk to us, man.
People are aiming every can that they get. I don't want these people talk about. Yeah, they talk about it. Come on.
The UCF Knights gonna show up or what? What they gonna do? It must be the money, baby. Put them to sleep. Colorado down. That's all I know. That's all I know. That's all I can tell you. So if you want more information, the link is in the description, or you can go right here to CoachHayesFootball.com. You'll see it up there. You can get your tickets there. I think they're still going for the 15. I'm not sure. I don't know what the promoter did. But make sure it happen, man. Come on out that Friday night before the game, because I don't know what time the game is going to start. But come on out that Friday night. Enjoy yourself, man. Great venue. One of the top venues there in Orlando. So come hang out with us, man, as well. That night we're gonna have a great time, man. Black and gold, baby. It's the black and gold party, so everything will be good to go. All right, we got a call on the line, 9979. Give me 1 second and I get to you. Also, man, the UCF Knight fan base is picking up for me on Twitter. They're starting to follow that thing around. Shout out to Dolly, man. He really been passing me around No Diddy, but you know where I'm going with that. Like sharing the stuff I'm saying. And we getting a lot of great responses as well. All right. Javon Baker, thank you. Thank you, normal guy. Javon Baker. All right, there you go. Shout out to MVP, that producer in the building. All right, y'all share that. And Omega Red, another member in the building. All right, let's see what 9979 talking about. Caller, talk to us. What's your thoughts on UCF?
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
What's going on, brother? Who am I speaking with?
You speaking with Dre.
Oh, Dre, what's happening, man? Talk to me.
Hey, what's going on? I'm sorry I ain't called by UCF. I'm trying to figure out was the right line to speak on the Deion Sanders situation.
Well, we'll do that in the third hour, man, when we get to Colorado.
Okay.
But if you want to want to talk about UCF, you can. They in the conference. What's your thoughts on UCF?
I think they got a great program going on. I think they got a great program going on.
All right. So
I would think they had a good program. You know, it's just they surrounded by a bunch of talented schools with great programs.
Do you think they have talent to last in the Big 10? Or Big 12, excuse me. Big 12?
Oh yeah. I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. I think they got the receivers. It's a pass heavy type of league. So, you know, they get them big boys now. Yeah, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be good.
All right. And then what's your thoughts on KJ Jefferson, man? Coming from Arkansas, I think he's the leading game starter in college football right now with 40 plus starts as a quarterback. What's your thoughts on him?
I think the experience, honestly, it'll make you or break you. And I think with the experience of the starts he had and being in the SEC, I think they helped him out a lot. You know, especially going to the Big 12, because SEC is very, you know, it's the top of the conferences. So his experience and then bringing it to the SEC, that's definitely going to help him out and help UCF out for, to do well.
Yeah. Also, I'll say this, man. Yeah, I think a lot of people think when they hear the Big 12, you know, the Big 12 used to be a big passing league. I think it is about 50-50 now, man. I think the Big 12 runs the ball heavily, and that's kind of where a lot of the light is being shined on the Big 12. But if you go look at these teams, they throw the ball around the yard as well. They throw the ball around the yard. True. I mean, we just saw TCU, right? TCU put up 353 on Stanford. 353. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to find out, man.
Yeah, that's a lot. I ain't gonna hold you up because I know you gotta keep going on. But yeah, it's definitely like half and half the Big 12, because they always had some great running backs and a great offensive lineman that came out of the Big 12.
Correct.
So yeah, you're right, Coach. You're right. I agree with you. So that's the Big 12 compared to the SEC. The SEC was at the top of the line. You know what I'm saying? One point in time, they still top of the line too, though. But and you got the Big 10. They got, like, you know what I'm saying, running backs and, you know what I'm saying, linemen at the same time. They got receivers. So I think it's well balanced. I think you're going to do well with it.
I appreciate it, man. Well, like I said, call back in the third hour. We'll definitely chop it up, and we'll have a good time, man, with that conversation. Definitely.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Much love. All right, man. We're going to our next call in the building. Get down, Brown. I know you've been a Cane fan since 1983, but talk to me about the UCF Knights, man.
Hey, man, gold and black, baby. Huh?
Talk to me.
I'm locked in with you, man. Man, I love that kid Jefferson, man, from Arkansas that came in and that backfield loaded, man. Hey, man, I want to get on I-4, man, by 4. And that weekend, man, I'm thinking about joining you, man, and collaborating, man.
Come on and hang out, man. We're going to do the live pregame. We're going to have a good time, man. You know, our Canes play that Friday, so there's no conflict there. So our Canes play on Friday, man. We there. We ready to rock and roll. We're going to have a good time that game, man. And like I said, it's Colorado as well. So it's going to be packed. The city going to be jumping, man. Come on through, man, and hang out with your boy, man. Come on Friday night. Now, I know you're a man of the claw, but even a man of the claw can cut a rug or two, huh? Talk to me.
Yeah, listen. But even in the good book, it says a time and a place for all things under the sun. So I can't be so heavy cloth that, you know what I mean? I can't be so light in the tower. So as long as I don't throw in the tower, huh?
Don't throw it in.
As long as don't know strong cane juice get him a cup, man. We good, man. So things lining up, get down. get down, planning on touchdown in Old Town early Friday evening. Maybe we can get lunch at Mickey's on me, man. The Eagle be done flew by then. I'm waiting on a big one to come in, Coach. You know, that Eagle carry the baby on the cartoon and take it all the way to a whole nother city. I'm waiting on a big bag like that to come in, man.
I love it, dog. I love it. Well, hey, let's make that bag come on in, and we're going to have a good time with it, if you understand me.
We'll have a great time. Hey, go Knights and go Canes, man.
I love it, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir, brother.
All right. I had another call on there, but he jumped off the line. So if you want to call in, 862-799-9956. If you know a UCF alum or somebody, tell them to call on in. I want to hear what they got to say about this deal, man. But, you know, like I say, coming up in this game against TCU, I want to talk a little UCF Knight defense. Their defense biting. Ted Roof got them playing extremely well. And they're playing, and I did a good, bad, and ugly on them. I did a good, bad, and ugly on UCF. So please go check it out. If you're just a fan of Coach Hayes, help me. I ain't asking for no money. I'm asking for a couple minutes, man. Just go out there, put the video on and watch it. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Yeah, I know it may not be your favorite team, but I'm your favorite coach. So help coach out, man, and make it happen. I'm going to text the next call in the line, 3440. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you're calling from.
First of all, stop whining. Second of all, how dare you not have my number saved?
I'm whining? Oh, God dang. I got to play. Hold up. World's smallest violin for Coach right here in the building.
So I just want you to know. So, sorry. This is
Shout out to Really Flawed. Shout out to Really
Flawed
Flawed for people that don't know. Really Flawed in the building. Y'all go check out her channel. And she came on, and I feel super flawed right now. Talk to me.
So I had two questions. I know that you said their defensive line, but I had a question about their offensive line. Do you know, but first of all, last week, did you do this order? Because every time I think I have your schedule figured out, it changes.
Yeah, I changed it up. No, I changed it up. Just like you told me. I actually learned this from you, Really Flawed. You told me if I keep changing it up, you never know what to expect. You taught me that.
That's true.
When a student becomes the teacher, that's what happens.
That's funny. No, so I was wondering, have you done anything or talked about their offensive line? Because I watched TCU play Stanford. I think, what was that, week 1? And one thing I noticed is I felt like, they were pretty balanced teams, but I started to question just how UCF offensive line was going to hold up, but I also didn't watch them because I've been seeing their offense rolling, but I didn't know if that was a real thing or how they look. How that offensive line looks. So
I'm glad you asked that question. Here's how I believe they're not the biggest and the most massive offensive line, but they're not if you look at them, in my opinion, they have big guys, but they're not. I would just say SEC, Alabama looking dudes, right? However, this is how they help their offensive line through their running game, because you run the ball so effectively, you slow down the pass rush. Second is, they're not afraid to max protect back there. They'll put 7 guys in pass protection. So, of course, we know we got 5 linemen. They'll leave a tight end and a running back in. They'll slide the entire line and put tight end running back to both sides off the play action. And then they do a lot off the play action with the pass. That's why the pass is so wide open. That's why last year, Javon Baker and Kobe Hudson were averaging 20 yards a catch. This year, you see Kobe Hudson averaging 20 yards a catch because they're so run heavy. You got to put 7, 8, 9 guys in the box. There was one play on the good, bad, and ugly. They had 10 guys in the box in the tight end. In the receiver split wide, play action and through the slant. So their play calling actually enhances their offensive line. So hopefully that answers your question.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I have another question, and let's be honest, I could probably ask you this offline, but I'm going to ask you this live because you'll be fine. Is there a reason why in your title of good, bad, and ugly you don't put the team that you're going to do first before you put good, bad, and ugly? Because I catch myself watching the same damn video.
I do put the team first.
I think I click a different one, and it's not.
I do put the team first. I put for example, I put for example on the good, bad, and ugly. If you look at the title, it'll say UCF versus Sam Houston State.
Oh,
and
why
then,
doesn't mine come up like that? Hold on.
and it says,
I went to go watch them, and maybe I'm an idiot. I went to go watch them, and I was like, I've already heard this one, and it's like my thing isn't picking them up.
yeah,
Okay.
I put the teams first,
that's
and then
fine.
good, bad, and ugly is on the back end. Hashtag good, bad, and ugly. I think it is. Yep.
Okay, so it could just be me then. Okay, maybe I just selected them wrong.
A little too much of that Texas tea.
Oh, stop it. So I know this isn't a Texas show, but I just wanted to make sure to say hook 'em when I call in. The other thing is, are you going to slap me for that? No?
I'm scared. You know what? I wanted to. My mind was telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah.
Like that makes it better.
Just gave you one right
It
there.
doesn't make it better. Don't do that.
I'm fighting for my life up here. I don't know how to hog tie nobody. I ain't never hog tie nobody.
That's so funny. Has anybody else called in yet? Because I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead. I got one more. I got Chi-Town in the back. Talk to me. He coming.
Okay. So my other question is their secondary. How does UCF look in their secondary? Like, do they have, like, I guess my question is this. I'm not on the notion that you have to have stellar athletes everywhere in the Big 12, just because obviously being a Texas fan, I've seen it. You don't have, that's not what you have to do, but you do have to be able to look like you know what you're doing, if that makes sense. Because if everybody else is kind of doing their thing, you have to at least look the part. I haven't looked at them, so I was just curious to know how you feel like that secondary looks.
So again, I think they do. I think Ted Roof does a good job, and I think Tim Harris, the OC, they do a good job through their scheme. Do they have the 5-star, all-world corners, highly, all over everybody's recruiting board? Probably not. But they do well, and they play well within the scheme, and they play, and they know what they're doing, right? Again, if you look at the good, bad, and uglies, and I'm speaking generally here, I try to break those things down and explain. When they play cover 3, probably one of the most basic coverages you can play, but they played it extremely well. They understand how to pass people off late. Like they ran a late post with a wheel route. The corner passes that off to the safety and stays with the real wheel route for the interception, right? The middle safety, the third corner over here doesn't have a deep threat. So what does he do? He starts working towards the middle of the field to take care of any late post or post corners. So they know how to play within the scheme well. And that is what, that's the part of football I enjoy. I enjoy you taking, and I don't want to call him poor little Timmy. So I say you take little Johnny and you make little Johnny a player, and it shows that he can be a part of it.
Right. I mean, that's coaching.
Yeah.
That's just
and it's coaching.
Fundamental coaching. And that's my thing. I feel like obviously Big 12 conference play hasn't happened yet. And so it's interesting for me to see what these teams are doing with their talent, if that makes sense. Because I think that is probably, I've never coached football before, but I feel like that could be probably 40% of coaching football is like what you're actually going to do with your talent, how you're going to utilize them, how you're going to game plan around them. And then how do you help them and how do you play to their strengths and put them in situations to be successful?
Correct.
And so I was just kind of curious to know how, what UCF look like, because I don't think they're getting, the top athletes, but they're getting some athletes. I mean, they did really well at the transfer portal. Yeah. They've looked good. I just wasn't sure how it looks as a whole, like how you would say it looks. But
well, like I said, their running game is doing what it did last year. The passing was only been 2 games. KJ Jefferson was shaky on the first one. He looked decent. He looked decent on the second one. Now he's got to string them together and be consistent. So TCU should be a good matchup, right, for him. They do a decent job pass protecting. He does a decent job getting out the pocket, making the move. I mean, he's a big dude. You ain't gonna just arm tackle him with one arm. So this game I definitely want to watch because I want to see. Now it's not. I mean, he's played in the SEC, so that we know. The thing is, can he complete and convert? And that's what it's all about.
Okay. And is this is so after this game they have a bye week and then they play Colorado, right?
Yes, that is correct. They have a bye, but Colorado does not, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, they have a bye week in Colorado.
I wanted to call so I didn't have to see you up here drowning and trying to talk about some stuff. So you have another caller, so I'll let you go. But I just wanted somebody in the chat told me to stop code switching. Believe it or not, this is how I talk. Coach Hayes can validate that this is how I talk, and you can go to my YouTube channel. I talk this way. This is my voice. I'm not changing. I'm not code switching. This is literally who I am all the time.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming helping Coach not drown. So speaking of that, sometime I might want to get drowned. But speaking of that, all my UCF Knight fans out there, y'all call in so my friends don't have to help me. Y'all call in UCF
No,
Knight.
I did. To be fair, no. Okay.
No,
so because I never know what you're doing, I actually had these questions for you last week, but I was just busy because I didn't know the order how this was going to happen. I was actually waiting for your show to call, and then you screwed up everything. So that's why I'm like, I have questions about this team, and I'm using you like I use you for Miami, right? I expect you to know what's going on. I expect to have a question.
There you go.
You know the answer.
So what you can expect during the season, have a question for Miami, UCF, and Colorado, and you'll catch us at one of these times through here. And I'm going to give you a quick hint. I'll give you a quick hint. Watch this. Look at the border. The border tells you everything. Look at the color scheme, right? When you
but that's when it started.
Yeah, I know.
So you but like my thing is if I'm scheduling around making sure I can call you. So if I think it's like between 9 or 10, then I'll make sure between that time and that time I'm available.
So here's what you do. No, so here's what you do. Every Wednesday, free your schedule from 8:30 to 11:30. That's 3 hours. We rocking. We rolling.
So you think you should get 3 hours of my time every Wednesday?
That's what a player expects. That's what a player should get. Play on, player.
Anyways, let me get off this line. The poor caller's listening to us and punching the wall because he can't get on the line. So I'll chat with you later. I appreciate you. I will not call during the Colorado.
Why not?
Because I'll let everybody else have it. But I might have a Miami question that I might be curious about. So I'll see how you open up that.
I might do a Miami the third hour.
I don't even trust. At this point, I don't even trust you. Okay, so just so you know,
we'll make it happen.
I'm saying it publicly. I don't trust what you have going on Wednesday nights anymore. You're not to be trusted. So
but I learned from the best.
But I just don't trust.
I learned from the best. You told me if I keep switching it up, you never know what to expect. Am I right or wrong?
But you're actually 100% right.
There you go.
And if I were you, I would be doing the exact same thing. So that doesn't mean I didn't say I didn't like it.
Right.
I just said I didn't trust you.
There it is. Enough said. I like that. That.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you.
Y'all, real quick, plug your stuff. Where can people find you?
Channel Really Flawed. I talk about Texas, Colorado, and the Steelers. And then me and Rawhide go live every Thursday where we pick 2 impossible games for the week that we think are either going to be like interesting or fun to watch or whatever. So yeah, that's my channel. You will find a bunch of honesty and a bunch of analyzing sports and looking at things that a lot of people, don't really think about or consider. It's just like my own perspective on like what I'm seeing and how I'm seeing it and what it means to me. So yeah.
There it is. So y'all go make sure you check it out. Ellen V, the producer, has already put it in the building. Let's help her get to 1,000 subs before. Come on, we got to do that.
Oh my God! Speaking of, I'm at 962. I looked before I called because I had a feel. I thought you might ask me, so I have 962.
Come on, y'all! 38 more people. Come on, 38. 38 more people. Come on, 38 more people. Pop off and pop. Go over there. Click the link in the chat. Sub and come right back.
I appreciate you.
Anytime. All right. Bye. Let's get a Chi-Town Kane in the building. Chi-Town, talk to us, baby. What's up with these UCF Knights? What's your thoughts?
Yeah. Hey, what's good, Coach? I I just left practice. You talking about UCF and their pass game?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. I watched a little bit of it. Again, I had another game during all these other games. I wasn't able to watch the Miami game.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched the highlights. I think Gus Malzahn has that team more prepared than they normally have been. I think he's trying to build it like he built Auburn when he was the coach and the offensive coordinator over there. So I think, they have a lot of potential. They got a few former Canes and a couple kids who were committed to Miami but ended up committing elsewhere. Shout out to Jakari Brown, Anton Jackson. So
Nigel Kelly.
I think Nigel Kelly. Yep. They I think they got a good squad. I think they perform well as a team, and I think if they are able to crack that code, I think that UCF is going to be a real big player in the future if they can lock down at least the recruiting factor of that, because they got some really good kids out that area.
Yeah, and here's what I'll tell you. Like I said, you're in prime real estate when it comes to recruiting. You're not at the bottom of Florida. You're not at the top. You're literally right in the middle. So everybody knows you. Everybody knows things. But you're also close enough to get South Georgia talent, or just Georgia talent in general. And again, it's not like it used to be in recruiting. But what I think is helping UCF the biggest is the fact they've gone to the Big 12 conference. And a lot of people questioned when they were, quote unquote, the co-national champions in 2017, I believe. They don't play nobody. Well, their first year out, they went 6-6. They were bowl eligible their first year in the Power 5 conference. So that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, it's really not. And I think they'll do fine over time as long as they, keep doing the right hires, getting the right hires. I don't know how long Gus Malzahn, depending on coach, I don't think he's that old. And keep it rocking, man. I think it'll be a great, great deal. And now you had a big four in Florida instead of the big. Well, really, we only got the big one in Florida now because you got Miami. You got Florida Suck University.
No, it's only Miami. It's nobody else. It's just the U.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then you got Florida Suck University. Then you got the University of Forget About It, which is UF. And then UCF, I give them their credit. University of Come Up Florida. That's what I'm going to call them, UCF.
Yeah, and then the University of Failure, that's UF. So, I mean.
The University of Failure.
Yeah, man. I think Mario's finally figured out what he needs to do. I think he has the right set of coaches. I think the chemistry in the locker room is good. Mm-hmm. I think the players are bought in, and nobody's in a rush. I think that's also, like, the fans are always going to be in a rush. As fans, we're always in a rush. But I think now the players are trusting the process.
I get it.
A lot of people were upset of how the first half was and how the game looked. And I understand that. We should have definitely won that game running away. But, I mean, what do you expect? You played 29 true freshmen. I think you played like 12 redshirt freshmen. You gave the young guys a lot of opportunity to play. And guess what? They made some young guy mistakes. Now, at the end of that first half, when they just ran the ball all the way down the field on us, I don't know what that was about. I do think our guys lost a lot of focus on that one, and I think they came out second half swinging. But it's supposed to be. I'd much rather we let the young guys play and look ugly than our starters come out and get bullied.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually okay with how the game went. Of course, as a fan, I wanted 70. I didn't want them to even get close to 10. But football ain't like that. We're as good as we say we are, we're not to that level.
Gotcha.
And even really good teams have those rough games where they're in a 21-7 dogfight with a Division III school. It happens.
No, it's football. It's football.
I'm okay with it. I think we're finally at a place where the young guys are not like, oh, I'm good enough to be starting. Let me just leave. I think they're like, hey, you know what? let me just better myself so when it is my opportunity, they can't take me off. So I think they finally got that good chemistry and that good mentality at the University of Miami this year.
Oh, I totally understand. Real quick, man, let me ask you this, going back to UCF for a second. How do you think they fare over TCU this week? What do you want to see?
Is it at TCU or at UCF?
At TCU.
At TCU?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I do think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to have some points on the board. So I think that's where UCF is going to have to play all 4 quarters. I think TCU is going to get punched in the mouth early. But, I mean, they were in the national championship game 2 years ago. And I think that that squad is going to continuously fight back for 4 quarters. So I think that's going to be a 4-quarter ball game. I'm probably thinking like 34 to 27, maybe around that range.
Okay. Like I said, I mean, yeah. we and like I said, we thought the UCF game going into Colorado, both teams could be undefeated.
Well, Colorado owns, so I don't hear no more. I mean, one and one. My bad.
Yeah, so some people got turned out to be a liar. Coach prediction is still alive and well right now, so it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how it is. But Sha, I appreciate you, man. They say you on the beach, dog. Where you at?
What's up?
They said sound like you on the beach
right now.
Sound like you on the beach.
Oh no! This is Chicago, man. I'm out walking. My car got broke down, so promised my girl I was gonna go see her. So currently walking to her crib right now. She was taking a nap. She worked a 12-hour shift. Didn't want to have her come get me.
Well, you dedicated, boy. Shout out to Chi-Town Kane. That boy said my car broke down. Baby, I'm still on my way. OMW. Huh?
Hey, well, the reason why too is because she holds your boy down, right?
You got that Bluetooth in. That's what it is.
She holds me down. You know, every time I got a game, we made a pact that she's always got to see me game day. So no matter what time my game is, she always either spends the night with me or she comes early in the morning to make sure that we still keep our ritual. She sat down next to me while I broke down film for about 4 hours. You know, she a real one, Coach. I mean, you know. So I gotta do my part. Now, Coach, you still there? I think I lost you. Okay.
Chi-Town Kane in the building, walking to see his lady. Take it easy on him. Hope her name ain't Michelle, man. We out of here.
All
right, man. Much love to you. My dog putting his best foot forward for his lady. Huh? He putting his best foot forward for his lady. And his second best foot ain't that far behind. It's constantly changing. His best foot becomes the second best foot. His second best foot becomes first best foot. The first best foot becomes the second best foot. He keep doing that process till he get to his destination. My dog. Shout out to the world's smallest violin for Chi-Town Kane. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. He's being a gentleman, as the ladies say. He's being a gentleman. Pilo say, go on and marry that girl. She helped break down film. Hey, make it part of the process. Really Flaw says, go ahead, football. He is being a man. Don. I love it. Nah, I ain't mad at him. I get it. That thing undefeated. You know what I'm saying? It's undefeated. But anyway, back to regularly scheduled programming. 862-799-9956. We got a few more minutes here. Talking about the UCF Knights taking on TCU. I'll just say this real quick as we preview TCU here. I think that the defensive backfield will be tested. We saw the quarterback throwing it around the yard, 353, threw for, I think, 48 total passes. So for 48 total passes in this deal, I would love to see how the defense tightens up and tightens down on this deal. Running cover 3, not a very intricate defense, right? But it can be very effective if you know how to play it and how to play it extremely well. It's very effective if you know the weaknesses to it. I used to tell players all the time. I made a mistake. I looked at the chat. P-Lo, you got 5 minutes in the corner. 5 minutes. That's my Michelle. I will never get on ESPN like this. All right. Back to it. So on the defensive side of this thing, man, one thing about cover 3 or any coverage, as long as you know the weakness, you can play it. If you understand that those 2 seam balls up the hash can hurt you, and you know that's the weakness, you know how to protect it. If you know the hitches in cover 3 can hurt you, and the players understand that I don't have to intercept that, I can tackle those, then there you go. Hustle Inc. I tried. We already talked about it on Hayes Street, so if y'all want to hear all about that on Hayes Street, we went over there. I know Nightcap loose right now. I know I made a bet that 100,000 people would be in Nightcap. I made a bet that 100,000 would be in Nightcap, and I guarantee it is. But anyhow, I appreciate the 75 in hanging with us. And when the UCF Knights, the 70,000 students at UCF find out what we're doing over here, we're going to be rocking. We're going to be rocking. And I'm giving nothing but love to y'all that's rocking with me right now. Oh, it's not on till tomorrow night? I thought Nightcap came on every night. Nightcap don't come on every night? Oh, it is live. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought Nightcap came on every night. It got up to 200,000. Wow, I told him. All right. So, with all that being said, like I said, we're going to talk about, we're going to go ahead and transition this thing, but shout out to the UCF Knights 2-0, right? Had some light work going on, but they're getting ready to go into conference play with TCU in Texas. So they got a big feat in front of them. It'll be interesting to see how they play against the Horned Frogs, how they fare. Is the offensive passing game going to be effective? The running game, we know it's there. Can KJ Jefferson buckle in, strap in, and get focused to make it happen for him passing? All right. We saw Gus Malzahn do things formationally. We saw him do things with motion. We saw him do things with creativity. He and Tim Harris, the OC, working together to make that offense run. Ted Roof, on the other hand, on the defensive side, they played extremely well. They're giving up 17 points, 14 last week and 3 the first week. So 17 points in teams that throw the ball around the yard. So it'll be very interesting to find out what that's happening right there. All right. So all that being said, Coach Hayes will catch you at the 50-yard line. Don't leave. We'll be right back.